40 years of developing hockey players from youth to the pros, Minnesota Hockey Camps has a player development program for you. Located in Breezy Point, Minnesota, our professionally coached on-ice development sessions, off-ice speed training, weight room sessions, stick handling sessions, shooting skill sessions are the right program for you. MHC takes great pride in its tradition with developing NHL players like Chris Stewart, Ryan Bugsy Malone, Scotty Hartnell, and TJ Oshie. Our dedicated staff is ready for you. Come check us out at MinnesotaHockeyCamps.com. Sign up for your chance to become the player you've always wanted to be. Hashtag who will be next.
Cold showers, leaking pipes, furnace giving you the chills? Look no further. At Iron Range Plumbing and Heating, we've got you covered. From expert plumbing solutions to HVAC magic and all sheet metal work, we are your one-stop shop for comfort and reliability. Professional service from a team that cares. Say goodbye to household woes and hello to peace of mind. Call Iron Range Plumbing and Heating today and feel the difference.
At Grand Rapids Chevrolet GMC in Grand Rapids, Minnesota, we have the trucks. Over 47 new Silverados and Sierras sitting currently on the lot with more to come. We have all the options: LT, RST, LTZ, High Countries, ZR2s. We have heavy duties. We have Sierra, SLT, Elevations, Denali's. We are equipped for the truck you are looking for. With great rebates currently, with up to $12,500 off on select models, now would be a great time to take advantage of savings and get yourself into a new truck today. Grand Rapids GM in Grand Rapids, Minnesota.
Welcome everybody to the Tea with Miss McGill Show, presented by our buddies over at Aero Auto Glass and Supply. Aero Auto provides home services like installing and repairing your windows, so don't forget about them at home. They sell glass doors. They also will install and sell you a glass shower door. Aero Auto offers commercial glass doors. They'll install them, repair them, so you got a business, you need the door out front. Aero Auto, those are the peeps you call, and of course they are your local source for windshield repairs. You got a cracked windshield, the repair and or replace. Same day service is available. All of their work is warranted, and they accept all insurance companies for your convenience. Aero Auto Glass and Supply, downtown Virginia and downtown Hibbing. It is Puka speaking. It is the star of the show. Coach Reed Larson, week 5 is behind us already of the boys high school hockey season, episode 119. Well, Merry Christmas. You ready for Christmas? We're at Christmas Eve in a week.
I don't know. I'm not sure if I'm ready. I mean, I always like the holiday season, but it just seems like the year's gone by so fast. I don't know if I'm quite ready yet. We've got a lot to do before Christmas.
You and the wife, you mean?
Yeah,
okay.
Me and the wife, work stuff.
The
dog, the family. And specifically speaking right now around the world of hockey, there's a lot going on before the actual Christmas Eve, Christmas Day stuff.
We're going to get into that. Yeah, exactly. So, and just remember, we make gifting easy here at the Tea with Miss McGill Show. We have merch. We'll touch on that in a little bit to help you. Especially, like I said, I'm kind of a last minute guy. It always comes up so fast. It's December 1st, the holidays and all this, and now it's, December 17th. Yeah, so it's like, it's cruising right on by. So we have another loaded episode. Happy Hanukkah, first off, to all of our Jewish friends. Of course, that began Sunday night. We're going to get Coach's thoughts later in the episode on the Quinn Hughes trade. And like I said, we'll be chatting about Coach's upcoming trip here to the Twin Cities. But before we dive in, some new subs. There's going to be some names you recognize here, Coach. Lumpy Lonnie Johnson, Rory Scuffy, Strooks 24, Blake Sorensen, and J.R. Albrechts will be just like these fine folks and subscribe to America's fastest growing hockey show now. Strooks 24, I don't know if it's the kid or if it's
gotta be Brian. I would assume it's Brian.
I don't know. And then Rory Scuffy, do you recognize that name?
Yeah,
he's a player on Rock Ridge. We caught a little bit of him last night. So, like I said, thank you to all of you for subscribing. But yeah, we'll see what happens here. So, but it's time to giddy up to our games of the week, presented by the Ring Sports Bar and Grill. Evelyn's Best, practice on the weekends, lunch, dinner, daily specials, daily happy hour, dinner specials, 248-8582. And of course, right now they got the what going on?
The no-brainer.
The no-brainer for one more week.
Yep.
So Christmas Eve, buy a $100 gift card, get a $20 card for free. So you make a 20% return just like that. $100, free $20. Like I said, you got a week to do it. You can check out their Facebook page for more details. And while you're there, hit the thumbs up button so more people are aware of this great deal. Okay, Coach. Friday night right here at Yanmar, hosting, at that time, I think they were like number 13, the Rosemont Irish.
Yeah, it's kind of like opening up a wound that it took a few days to heal by bringing it up. Let's just say that the competition that was here last weekend is that of the top competition in the state. Like you said, they might have been 13. They could have been anywhere from 8 to 13 and whatever ranking you're looking at. Hey, they're a talented hockey team. They came into the building excited to be up north. With coaching staff is pretty good friends with their head coach. Done a lot of Grant and I and Wade have done a lot of HP, the CCM HP stuff in the postseason with Ricky Sainty.
Okay.
So know him really well. Having them in the building, obviously knowing some of the kids that are on that team. Chris Lonke's boy actually scored a goal for them in the game on Friday night. Yeah, they're a talented
Is that the
hockey
Proctor
team.
guy?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll talk about him more in a minute.
Yeah, I graduated with my wife.
There you go. Okay.
Class of 89.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, talented hockey team, and we talked about it last week on the show. They were here 2 years ago when Grand Rapids hosted the state Bantam AA team. All of those kids now are currently juniors that were on that state tournament team. They're a good hockey team. They're fast. They shoot the puck well. But we struggled a little bit, and we've been kind of at a point now in our season where we're challenging competitive hockey. Like, we want to make sure that you are competing as a player. That's the question mark all the time, asking guys, do you really think that you worked hard to get to that loose puck? Do you really feel like you're competing? And that's going to be the biggest thing for our group right now. It was a struggle. We could go into details, but at the end of the day, it was a drubbing.
Yeah.
They had a pretty good goalie, but for right now, as far as that goal, we really struggled getting anything towards the net with those guys, and any opportunity that we did get, we're struggling with our goal scorers getting the puck in the net.
Yeah. Well, and he had a couple injuries too.
Yeah, and obviously, looking at
What are
the
your goal
injury
scorers?
from the Tuesday night situation when Hibbing Chisholm was in the building, Nathan Garski went out with an injury that night, and so did William Miskovich went out with an injury that night as well. Coming in, trying to get some third, fourth line guys some opportunities to play in only 3 days, giving them more ice time, a bigger role. That's an adjustment that is really difficult to deal with when you're playing against number one in the state on Saturday and 10 or 12 or 13 in the state on Friday. So again, there's no excuses, and none of our players want to give excuses, and our staff just isn't about excuses. I don't care who you're playing. It's not who you play, it's how you play.
There you go.
And if you're playing the right way and competing and winning races, getting shots on net, playing good defensive hockey, you're going to be in the game no matter who you play.
Yep.
But if there's going to be moments where where people are questioning your compete level, likely there's going to be situations that end up like last weekend. So there's been a lot of coming together as a team the course of the last couple of days, a lot of watching film, a lot of showing, hey, this is what we mean about battling for a puck. This is what it looks like to actually want the puck instead of look like you want the puck, right? And those are challenges that as a coaching staff, it's our job to do, to make sure that we get guys that are prepared, and we got a big weekend ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, speaking of Lonky, so we did end up at the Eagles with the famous, and I'll tell you how famous in a minute the Rosemont moms are, but so it was nice chatting with him. But like I said, my big thing was to find somebody on that Rosemont team that played in the 92 state title game against our buddies over there, the Green Mary Raiders. Shout out Greg Johnson, go Big Green, one of our big listeners. But what I found out, so Betsy Sherman is one of the people that I kind of got to know. Her son is Cade. Yep. One of the studs, Augustana commit. Do you think he might be a Mr. Hockey guy?
Very well could be.
I mean,
it could be on the list.
Because I only saw the
kind of
third
a longer
period.
list right now. It starts to get shrunk down. Mid-January to February, obviously, it gets shrunk down to a smaller list. He could be on the extended list right now.
Yeah. So anyway, she tells me, she's like, no, she's like, you're not going to find, because I'm like, is it, because I was thinking the senior dads. We already visited with the junior and sophomore dads when they were 8th, 9th, and 8th graders, like I said, at the Bannock. And it's like, no, it's like, most of us are from Iowa. I'm like, Iowa. So when I go find out, Cade's dad and his brother is the goalie. Is it Trevor? I can't even remember right now. But anyway, Matt Sherman played for the Iowa Hawkeyes, quarterback. So cool. I'm like, no way. So
athlete.
And there you go. So now you know where he's getting his athleticism from. So much to my chagrin, I could not find anyone that could tell stories about the 1992 state tournament game. However, on Saturday, said Moorhead was in town, so I'm over talking to some of the Moorhead parents, Arnold, Gregoire, some of these guys I know, and I said, oh, you just get to town. It was just a one-end, done. I wasn't sure if they had played somewhere, and I said, well, we were at the brewery for a while having a good time. I said, well, you should come down to the Eagles. Oh, we remember the Eagles from Bannock. We had such a good time, and I said, yeah, I was there last night. I said, I was with the Rosemont moms, and the Moorhead moms like, oh, the Rosemont moms. Oh, how can you handle it? So they've been together through all these tournaments out there. They're like, how do you do it? So the Rosemont moms, even the Moorhead moms, have the utmost respect for you. So I thought that was very funny.
Yeah.
So
I like it.
that was good. So. All right, so then, like I said, so Saturday hosting number one. I was able to catch that. Go ahead.
They're everything.
Well, yeah, you go ahead.
They are 100% everything that they are advertised. Is there potential that they could lose a game throughout the course of the year? Maybe.
Right.
Maybe Minnetonka could sneak one by them. If I had to give it, I think they're going to go undefeated. I think they're going to be the next state championship team to not lose a game all year.
Okay, that was I'm going to ask you.
Like 2015, which was Lakeville North, was the last time that someone went undefeated in one state championship. I think Moorhead's going to do that. They are unreal.
Yeah.
Joey Cullen
I know.
is one of, if not the best high school hockey player I've ever seen, and he's a sophomore.
He's a sophomore, yeah.
He unbelievable. I mean, the puck is glued to his stick. If you get it from him for a second, you better stay on him because it's going to come right back.
Yeah.
And it came right back to him. I don't know how many goals he had. He might have had 2 or 3, but he had a couple of apples too.
Yeah, and he's just got that. He's moving all the time. So I think his competitors get flat-footed because they don't know which way he's going to go. But he's actually moving all the time. He's got that.
He's unbelievable.
Yeah.
I've seen good hockey players, good high school hockey players. He's really good.
Yeah.
Like one of the best I've ever seen. And that's saying a lot because I've watched a lot of high school hockey in the state of Minnesota. He's one of the best I've ever seen.
Okay. So yeah, undefeated. That was my question. Do you think they go undefeated? Do you think they will probably be the state champs? One thing I got to bring up, and we have a picture on our Instagram and Facebook with Tea with Miss McGill. There was an interesting penalty. That was in the second?
I think so.
Yeah, that was in the second. Yeah. So it was in the second. Scrum after, I think were you on the power play, GR power play?
They were just calling a power play for us.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
we had a power play, and they would have been a 5-on-3, I think, that they would have called, but then it kind of turned into a scrum and a mess.
Yeah. And if they didn't have face masks, we might have had to call Virginia Family Dental because I think some teeth would have been knocked out.
Yeah, we had Miskey over here fixing teeth.
Exactly, but it ended up being 5 into the box for Moorhead and 5 into they took everybody right on or 4 in the box for. Because Moore had 4.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then 5 in the box, right? All 5 of Rapids, right? Yeah.
Yep.
So that was an interesting call. Everyone on the ice, the refs said they're right, and they said everybody in.
Well, there's one or two ways you could deal with that as a referee, and I'm not going to talk any smack about the guys that ran that game that night. They did what they needed to do to control it, and that actually controlled the game after that by calling 5 coincidental penalties. But like I said, you could deal with it one of 2 ways. Either you go in there and you call everybody that you did, and that's what they did. You threw 10 guys in the penalty box. Or you call nobody.
Yeah.
You just take the first 2 guys that created the issue, and then everybody that came in afterwards and took a guy and had to pull him out of the pile, those ones you throw out.
Yeah.
So only, essentially then you really only have the original penalty and the person that jumped in and retaliated. Then it turns into a coincidental with just 2 guys serving a penalty, but everyone else came in and started pulling guys off. Like I said, you either call 10 guys or you call 2.
Yeah, and there were a lot of punches.
And that's kind of what
the goalie was going after. I mean, it was.
That's kind of what I said to Freeds. It was Jace Friedley, but I think it was Troy Nichols that were reffing that game. One of the Nichols brothers.
Yeah.
And they were reffing that game, and they came over, and Grant was already on the side of the bench preparing to run the 5-on-3, the 5-on-4, whatever they were going to give us. He was preparing and drawing stuff up. He and Wade were over there. I stepped down to listen to the conversation because the referees were over explaining it to John Ammerman. So I step over to at least listen to what's going on. And the only thing I mentioned to Freeds is I said, you're going to take everyone? I mean, you could just take the first two. I mean, you're not going to have enough room in there. And he said everybody was throwing punches. I said, okay, it's your call. Like I said, you can either do it one of two ways. You call just the two guys that started the whole thing, or you take everyone because you have no idea who else to take.
Right. Yeah, they kept control of the game.
It did, and that's one of the things that you could say that they actually did right there. Is not everybody in the building agreed with that situation. But at least it stopped it from turning into a complete melee the rest of the night.
Right, yeah, exactly. Yeah, so it was very unique. The penalty boxes were full. Hot dog vendors, you should have been there. It would have been an opportunity for you.
Oh my gosh. Well, in the rest of the evening, there was a way that Rapids was able to kind of stay into things for a little while in that game, and that was by being aggressive and being hard on pucks and being hard on guys and finishing checks and trying to frustrate the other team into maybe pulling them into the crack.
Yeah.
Well, that worked for a couple of minutes, and then it didn't work after everybody ended up in the penalty box.
It was 4-1 until mid-third, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't, it just... I mean,
well, it was 1-0 after the first period.
Right.
And
Ole played great.
Yeah, the goalies were fine. Ole was fine in the first period, right? And then things kind of hit a different scenario later on, and we ended up putting Levi Westby in for the remainder of the game in the third period. Thought, well, Westby's going to get his start here coming up in the near future, and why not give him 8 minutes or so, 7 or 8 minutes or so in a third period against the best team in state. You're not going to see anybody worse than that coming down the stretch. Yeah. So that'll prepare him, give him some confidence when he does get his start.
Yeah, see some pucks. Right?
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah,
and he got what? I think he got it 7 or 8 minutes.
Yeah, I said, about right. Yeah, half the period there. And I just real quick, I did have the pleasure. So I saw a young man with Moorhead jacket. I thought it was a JV player. I go to talk to him to see, ask how the JV's doing, which I did find out they're doing well. But it was actually Max Cullen. He's out with a shoulder injury. Yeah. So I sat with him in the third period, and nice young man. That's Mark's son. Yeah. So not Matt's son, but just talking about the hockey culture, the academy, some of that stuff. So it was pretty interesting. So, but yeah, good young man. Good luck to Moorhead the rest of the way, and we'll see what happens here if they can pull off the undefeated season.
Well, that's what there's one other team in the state that a nice outstate team. They wear orange and black. Right. If it's not us playing for the state championship, then I like to see outstate teams like that compete for it.
That's exactly what I told Max. So you got to do it now.
Yeah,
you're outstate.
And I say this every year. The best visual that I've ever seen in high school hockey in Minnesota was in 2017 when the XL Energy Center, formerly known as the XL Energy Center, was packed with black and orange. Yeah. And that's when it was Rapids versus Moorhead. Of course, Rapids won that one state championship, as you can see the banner over there.
That was your day to shine.
Best day ever. Two outstate teams, didn't include the Metro at all. Yeah. Two outstate teams showed up to play down in front of a huge crowd, and it ended up the right way that night. Yeah. But if anybody other than Grand Rapids wins the state championship, and it's going to make me happy. If it's not us, then Moorhead, I'd like to see win it.
How many D1 kids do you think will come off that team? Just a quick
7 or 8.
7 or 8.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right now.
Zimmerman.
They're
just so many.
Yeah,
Simonich is a good player.
There's going to be a couple that maybe end up potentially surprising you just as they get more time. Later on into the next couple of years, getting off into juniors, somebody else squeaks into something. Yeah. 7 or 8 guys.
Yeah. And they've got young, like I said. Mm-hmm. Max Cullen's only a junior.
It isn't getting any worse next year.
Yeah, no, right, exactly.
The question mark is Joey Cullen going to come back after this year? And that all depends on how their season goes. They go undefeated, win the state championship. Yeah. Is he going to go off and stay away?
Well, they weren't supposed to come back this year, and at the very end,
yep, then they came back. Yeah, they may. They might want to win 3 in a row. Right. Who knows?
Exactly. All right, good luck to the Spuds. Another game I was able to catch Rock Ridge Superior last night. Just a real quick recap. 1-0 Rock Ridge after the first, like I said, hosting Superior. Second period, the Wolverines came out on fire, banked 4 home in about the first 8 minutes. Then Superior pulls the goalie, And Spear gets 2 crookins. Now all of a sudden it's 5-2, but there was no scoring in the third. Rockridge outshoots the Spear Spartans 38-20. So Rockridge now 4-5. They've only played 3 home games up to this point, including last night, but losses to Warroad, Wayzata, and over Hermantown, Sartell. I mean, pretty tough schedule. The weekend isn't going to get any easier. I guess I was just a little surprised that they were 4-5. If I had to say anything, I thought they were probably 5-4.
The teams they've lost to are top-notch teams.
Yeah.
They're good teams. Now you start getting into some of the rest of the schedule. They're going to start seeing some more section matchups in the near future. They're going to match up across from Duluth Marshall. End of the month, they're going to match up against Grand Rapids. That Andover game was one that was added because, before they ended up resectioning, they wanted to play that as a section game. They ended up losing that game.
Yeah. And then actually the Hermantown, I think they were up most of the game, 1-0. And then,
Hermantown's coming to life, by the way. That'll be another conversation. They're coming up.
Yeah,
They're on the climb.
They are, exactly.
Yep.
All right, and then quick Hibbing Chisholm Hibbing, disposed of Titino Grace on the weekend. Your buddy Timmy
Parkus.
And Whitaker reworks with the hat trick and the 5-rip win. All right, nail the thumbs up button if you can. Let's get into anything else on that. We'll get into the previews.
No, I think that looks pretty good. It's always nice to see, like I said, these northern teams disposing of the private schools. Sorry, Timmy, but I don't hate it. It's another team that I'm going to cheer for down the stretch. I said this last week after we played Hibbing in the building. That was the one night that I'm saying I'm not a Hibbing fan ever up until that game is over with. And now Hibbing goes into their single A, goes into their schedule. They don't see Grand Rapids again until next year. So I'm going to be following Hibbing Chisholm, hoping that they can, Hermantown, but dispose of Hermantown and find themselves back in a state tournament and win a state championship. I'd like to see them finish off the trio. Won it in Pee-wees, won it in Bantams, win it in high school. I'd like to see that.
Pretty cool. Okay. All right, previews. Presented by Aspire Heating and Control, your local Bryant dealer. And Bryant is the official heating and cooling company of your Minnesota Wild. Aspire specializes in gas, electric, and hydronic heating and cooling systems for existing and new construction, residential and commercial installations available. Services include forced air systems, boilers, heat pumps, mini splits. Licensed and bonded. Give Justin a call, 218-999-5957. 218-999-5957. All right, back in the bus tomorrow for the Thunderhawks. The big one, Edina Classic.
Yeah, Thunderhawks are jumping on the old bus and heading down south. We're going to find ourselves leaving town tomorrow about 11 o'clock and start heading towards the Metro. Nice little pit stop at Elk River down there in Elk River at Sammy's Pizza.
Oh, DJ Hill?
Yes, we are going to see DJ
Shout out
Hill.
to Deej.
Yeah, DJ Hill, former Greenway Raider, 96
Stud,
graduate, stud player, but we connected with him last year, and ever since last year, I think every year that we go down there, we will stop at Sammy's. They do a very nice little pasta bar for us. And get us ready to take on, which is always the same rotation in this classic every year. It's going to be Rapids and Edina on the first night. We will play the 8:30 game tomorrow night.
Okay.
Elk River and Eden Prairie play the 6 o'clock game just before us.
Okay.
Then we end up on Friday evening playing the early game against Eden Prairie, which means Edina is going to play Elk River at the 8:30 game. And then we end up flipping again. And on Saturday, then we will play the early game at 5 o'clock against Elk River, and EP and Edina will play the late game.
Okay.
And game number 1 is always one that we look forward to every single year. I don't really think that the young people that listen to us on this podcast understand how long the rivalry between Grand Rapids and Edina goes back. It goes back to some of the first state tournament appearances for Rapids, some of the first state championships between Rapids and Edina, Rapids beating Edina and winning a state title, things of those nature. Right? Those go back a long ways, and some of us remember and some of us don't. The the community remembers that, and some of the older people that still watch, some of the 40-year season ticket holders that still watch and come here, like my parents. My mom reminds me all the time, oh, you got the Hornets on Thursday night. Remember what it is you're playing for when you're playing for the Hornets. It's always Outstate versus the Cake Eaters.
That's right.
Constant.
Yep.
Every time you play them. So going into that game, before Edina gets into this tournament, they go on a pretty long stretch of not playing games, and they just beat the crap out of each other in practice for a week. They call it Hell Week in Edina.
Yep.
And I know we've said that on the show the last couple of years, but Coach Giles runs it that way, where there's a couple of games he plays early in the season, sets the schedule up that way to start kind of testing guys out. He's trying to get guys back, because typically, especially the last 2-3 years, Edina's been in the state football tournament, and actually this year they won the state championship. Their goalie was one of the players of the game in the football game when they won the state championship. Obviously, Mason West ended up taking off. Now he went to juniors.
Yep.
But they kind of do that, play a couple of games, try to get those guys back, and then getting everybody in shape. They go for a week without playing games, and they beat the crap out of each other in practice during Hell Week and skate the crap out of them. So those kids become so hungry for that first game in like 10 days. And that's always the first game back from Hell Week is always Edina versus Rapids.
They're ready to go.
At Braemar. They're ready to go. And we've been watching film on Edina the last couple of days, recognizing what they have. Word has been out about Edina this year that, hey, a couple of years ago they won the state championship. They lost a couple of guys that ended up leaving, like Mason West, other Schneider. Spurgeon's kid took off and went to Christian Academy.
Okay, whoa.
Yeah, so some of these kids are leaving. It's, oh, well, geez, I don't know if they're as good as they are. Listen, it's Edina.
Yeah, they're always good.
They're going to be good.
Yeah, right.
So we're watching how they play. They compete for every loose puck. If you think you're going to go in the corner and come out of the corner easy with that thing, think again. You are going to have to fight for it like it's the last piece of bread and there's 2 starving kids trying to go after it. That's what it looks like playing against those guys, and they're on it, ready to rock and roll. Our players have to be prepared, but here's the deal. You have to go into that game expecting to win a hockey game. You don't want to go into that game thinking, oh, it's Edina. Geez, it's been a tough goal for the last few years playing against Edina. Listen, they're human. They put their pants on the same way you do. They're going to lose some games this year. They are not as advertised in the past.
Right.
They're still going to be as good. But hey, listen, guys are going to be ready to rock and roll and take this to the next level here and play one of the top teams in the state, even if they say they're not as good as they are. Again, it's Edina.
Right.
Guys are going to be ready.
Absolutely. All right. Well, good luck to the Thunderhawks. Also on tap, Rock Ridge hosting a couple of games at the Iron Trail Motors Event Center, Hudson, Wisconsin, Friday. Saturday, Rogers will visit the Hippodrome for a 3 o'clock contest, I believe. And then Chisholm Hibbing hosting, I believe they're number 6 right now, number 6, Matamidi Zephyrs at 2 o'clock at the Memorial Building. Comment on that if someone knows the start time. And also tomorrow night, I should mention, the Blue Jackets of Chisholm Hibbing will be at the Blue Jackets of Cambridge Isanti, and I think they've got like a blue, again, comment on this one, the Blue Jacket Cup. I think they started that a couple, remember they played the outdoor game, I think last year or 2 years ago. So
I like it.
The Blue Jacket Cup, so hosted down at Cambridge Isanti, so that's tomorrow, Thursday, and then like I said, Saturday, Matamidi coming up to Hibbing. The big one though on the weekend, up here in the north, Saturday, 3 p.m., Heritage, East Denfeld. That was a classic last year.
I like watching those games. I like to go back and, sometimes I don't get to see them live or actually watch them live on television, so I'll record those on my Minnesota Hockey TV and go back and watch them just because the emotion
It's a good one.
of those 2 programs, East versus West, Cake versus Blue Collar.
That's right. Cake of the
give
North.
it whatever you want. However, Duluth East isn't necessarily the cake of that. It was for many years, but when you look at those 2 schools, it is kind of east side more money versus West Side, more blue
Working
collar,
class,
working class. But those are always fun to watch. There's so much emotion between those two teams when you watch them play.
Yep, so big one Saturday afternoon. I agree with you.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch that one on Spidio.
You can do that on the way back. Right back from Media.
Yep, I'll record it and watch it.
All right, Scores and More, presented by Fortune Bay Resort and Casino. More snow expected tonight, so you want to go snowmobiling. Fortune Bay is your headquarters. Up on beautiful Lake Vermilion, they offer 172 rooms and a smoke-free resort, indoor pool, full-service marina, RV park, world-class golf, several dining options, a bar, and of course, all the gaming you can handle. Visit fortunebay.com right now and reserve your snowmobiling trip. Take that week between Christmas, New Year's, take some time off, head up north, get to Fortune Bay Resort and Casino. Like I said, fortunebay.com. You can plan your trip right now. Here we go. Ely down by Mora 6-4. Warroad, another one team that's heating up, 6-0 winners over Thief River Falls. Brainerd pounds St. Cloud 8-0. Cloquet with a 2-1 loss to St. Cloud Cathedral. I Falls last night up at Bronco, taking it to Park Rapids 8-2. Proctor 7-0 winners over Greenway. Roseau 5-2 winners over Brainerd. East defeated by Eden Prairie 4-3. The Greenway Raiders with a 3-2 win over Moose Lake Willow River. I caught a little bit of that, and there was a strand for Moose Lake Willow River, and when I heard strand, I always think of those, remember all the Roseau strands that came through, and I was kind of watching, I was doing other things, but I had it on the background, and he was kind of dipsy-doodling. He decided to try to go behind the net, and I wish I caught the number, but one of the Greenway Raiders just tattooed him to the plexiglass. There was no more dipsy-doodling going on.
Cutesy.
That didn't work for Mr. Strand of Moose Lake. Hermantown to the 9-2 win over Denfeld. Bemidji 2-0 winners over East Grand Forks. Bemidji now 5-2. Could they be your number 2 team in Section 8?
I think so. I think they could be in there, 2 or 3.
Yep. Okay. North Shore hit by Hayward 5-3. Duluth Marshall 2-1 winners over Rochester Lords. The 7-0-1 Hilltoppers. I believe they were your dark horse pick for Section 7 AA.
Yeah, they're one to watch. They're one to watch. Obviously I'm in Section 7 AA with my team, so I don't want that to be the team that ends up winning it, but they're going to be finding their way in challenging a team in the section semifinals. They're going to challenge a team to get to the section finals.
Yeah, so
I don't know who it's going to be. I don't know if they're going to be playing Rapids and challenging them, or if it's going to be Rock Ridge and challenging them to get to the section finals. But again, go back to what we talked about, because now there's some teams coming back to life that maybe we didn't give enough credit to beginning of the year. Duluth East is going to be in that mix.
I agree. I think they're surprising.
Forest Lake's going to be in that mix. Forest Lake has had a pretty good start to the season. I don't really know exactly who they've played, if anybody yet, but I don't really care because you're winning games, right? And that just gives you momentum moving into some of the games that are going to be more difficult. That's one that we're going to talk about here next week when we come back after the Edina Classic. We'll preview Rapids and Forest Lake, and we'll talk a little bit about that. That's going to be in December 27th. That's going to be a there and back game. And that's going to be a big one for both teams to start looking at, hey, where do we sit as far as the section is concerned?
Right.
All right, fellas. You just can't get the hockey itch out of yourself. The college route isn't for you. Community college route isn't for you. The junior hockey route isn't for you. Well, there's still hockey that you can play. Why don't you check out the Jackson Hole Moose out in Jackson Hole, Wyoming. Take a look at these guys. Full crowds, full hockey, packed houses every night. Get a hold of TJ Thomas on Facebook, and he can get you hooked up with what's going on out there in Jackson Hole.
Integral Hockey Twin Ports offers top-of-the-line junior, intermediate, and senior sticks for sale. Integral also repairs shafts, blades, and goalie sticks using their patented process that restores your stick's original performance. Same flex, same kick point. Shaft and blade repairs come with a lifetime warranty at the repair spot, so you can trust your stick to perform game after game. Give Sand a call, 218-940-9089.
Would you like to hear about Zorba's specials? On Mondays, it's Micro Monday. All taps are just $4. Tuesdays, $3 tacos and $4 Dos Equis. Wednesdays, personal pizzas, $8 and domestic taps, $4. Thursdays, we have deals on nachos and $5 Surly taps. We offer trivia on Wednesdays at 6 p.m., bingo on Thursday at 6 p.m., and then karaoke Thursdays at 10 p.m.
Right. Now, going back to the teams that we've played, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think really the only section team we've played is Duluth East.
Yeah, right. That sounds right to me.
And it's a tie.
It's a tie, right?
That was
yeah.
a tie.
Yeah.
So
First game of the year.
right now, we section-wise, looking at who we're playing, we're going to end up seeing all them section teams that we talked about. We're going to see Rock Ridge. We're going to see Marshall. Those are going to be interesting coming down the stretch.
Gonna need to load up on that Sammy's buffet, like
Yeah.
I said. Get the energy, boys. And to cap it off, the Walleye Scott Edina Hornets update. We already talked about this. No games this week. They go through Hell Week, so nothing to report down there at Hornetland, but we'll have plenty to report about 24 hours from now. All right, couple of things. Remember those Urexa, I was named from I Falls. I said the two brothers got combined 25 points last week, and I found out it's Xerxa. So I apologize. So the correct pronunciation is Xerxa, even though it's spelled Yrexa. It's somehow Xerxa. All right,
That's
Coach.
what we get now when we pronounce things wrong or we get our information incorrect. You become a sub and you comment.
That's right.
And now you listen to the show.
Yeah, exactly. 100%.
So
We did that. We did it on purpose.
Try
all
to do
along.
our research to make sure we give you the best information that we can. But of course, we're going to make mistakes, and we hope that we hear from you in a constructive way to help correct us, and then you become a listener.
Absolutely. That's what we want. All right, I want your thoughts real quick. Quinn Hughes, so the biggest trade in Wild history, one of the biggest trade in, I don't know, a couple, 3-4 years in NHL maybe? I guess I can't really, off the top of my mind.
Billy Guerin making some moves, hey, and it's about time that we start making some big moves. This was enormous. We're sitting there, I don't know, was it Friday when it happened? We're listening to it before the game on Friday. Guys are coming into the locker room during the JV game and it's popping their head into the coach's room. Oh, I think they're going to get Quinn Hughes, blah, blah, blah. And the coach staff's like, whatever.
Yeah, nobody's radar. Right?
Come on, stop it. And then next, comes in, it's a done deal. We're seeing it. Russo just tweeted it, blah, blah, blah. He's coming to the Wild. Probably the biggest trade, like you said, in Minnesota Wild history, to take in who I think is top 3 best defensemen in the league, without a doubt. There's a big salary that has to be taken in by the Wild on that, but they give up quite a few guys. There's a lot of guys they traded. They traded 3 players and a first-round pick.
Yep.
Does that sound right?
Yeah.
There's 2 players and a first-round pick.
They gave up, I think they gave Rossi, Buyum, and isn't there another young guy?
Yeah.
I can't
Throw that in the comments if you remember who it was. I think it was 3 guys they traded, and it was a first-round pick for next year.
Yeah.
The 27, I believe.
Yeah, so it's clear they want to win now.
Yeah.
You're get rid of a guy like Buyum, and Rossi's a
Yep.
high pick, and so it's clear what the Wild objective is. We're right
We
now.
want to win
we're
right now. And the Wild are trying to put together that kind of a team. I think they are one high-end forward away from being a huge contender. And rumor mill going around right now is there may be talks about bringing in a high-end forward.
Yeah. Well, T.H. Thompson's the name that keeps getting thrown around out of Buffalo. So, but yeah, and then the problem is the Central Division with Dallas and who else? Who's the other wagon? Dallas, Minnesota. Why am I not thinking of this? Colorado. Colorado. Yeah. So I mean, one of those teams is going to lose in the first round, and one of those teams is going to lose in the second round. And it is crazy because they're top 6 or 7. The 3 of them are in the top 6 or 7. So that's crazy. But yeah, my son. Get done with the national anthem at the girls' basketball game Friday night. I look at my phone, text from my son. He sends me a screenshot. We got Quinn Hughes. I'm like, boy. So I do a quick Google search. I said, I think you got deep faked. Like, I looked on Google. I looked on the Wild app. There was nothing. He's like, no, Dad. I'm telling you, it's true. We got Quinn. So 15 minutes later, there's a break in the action. I go back on my phone or whatever. Yeah, it's all over the Wild app. It's all over the news. And so my son got it somehow right away.
He was sitting on it waiting for it to tweet it out or something.
He was on the phone with Bill Garrett, but I couldn't believe him. I'm like, no, dude, like this is just you're looking at social media. It's something fake, and boy, he was on.
Well, there's a lot of that fake stuff out there.
Well, that's what I mean. I thought, dude, like you got a fake account. Like
I saw one out there that is fake, kind of, but also kind of rumor. Is one of those people that they're trying to get now afterwards. I saw a rumor about Sidney Crosby.
Really?
I did, and it's fake, but kind of not.
Yeah.
Like, he's been a long time in Pittsburgh, and he's high on their pay scale. He's late in the career, but still impact. That would be huge if they could pick up somebody like a Sid the Kid to come to Minnesota.
Oh gosh, yeah, that'd be, yeah.
Now, that's probably more fake than it is real, but there could be a little bit of substance as to why that came out.
Yeah, well, and you never know. Like I said, nobody thought Quinn Hughes was
No.
going there. Everyone thought he was
Yeah.
going to New Jersey to play with his brothers, right? I mean,
Yeah.
that was a no-brainer. So, another no-brainer. All right, a couple other things. Chisholm Hibbing Girls Hockey 30th anniversary get-together Monday night at the Memorial Building. So, if you want to celebrate the 30 years of girls hockey in Hibbing, Chisholm, be there Monday night. Our buddy Patty Rendell, one of the
Pat
first coaches
Rendell.
over there. So, if he doesn't have Pee Wee stuff going on, hopefully he'll be over there. And speaking of honoring people, the TJ Thomas will be at the Evelyn Hippodrome this weekend as they will be honoring the 1945, 48, 49, 50, 51, 1993, and 1998 state championship teams at the Hip before their 3 p.m. game against Rogers. I'll be over there. Looking forward to seeing many of my Golden Bear friends. So if you got nothing going on, you're over in the Quad Cities or on the eastern side of the range, be at the Hippodrome about 2 o'clock on Saturday. Like I said, they're going to do some intros, have guys walking on the ice. So I look forward to not only seeing everybody, but also watching a good contest between Rockridge and Rogers. All right. Anything to add to episode 119?
119.
Yeah.
I like it. Nope, that was a pretty good one here tonight. We'll just give our shout out to the best partners on earth
Yeah.
as soon as you talk about our merch, and we'll be ready to roll.
Exactly. Yeah. When just gonna mention too, if you haven't subscribed, if you got to this point and haven't subscribed to the show, please do. We're early in the season. Like I said, we're about 5 weeks in. You got another 11 to 12 weeks to go. So you're not going to want to miss a single second of the action. So hit follow, hit subscribe. If you don't know how, ask your child or grandchild. They will show you how to do it. Yep, merch. Like I said, great Christmas gifts, caps, hoodies, t-shirts, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, Goatsportsmediallc at gmail.com, or just find the smiley faces of Coach Reed Larson or myself. We can help you out with that. And yeah, a big thank you to our greatest partners on earth, Virginia Family and Biwabic Family Dental, Aspire Heating and Control, the Ring Sports Bar and Grill, Arrow Auto Glass and Door, Fortune Bay Resort and Casino, Zorbas of Grand Rapids, Iron Range Goalie Academy, right here, baby, Grand Rapids GMC, Minnesota Hockey Camps, Jackson Hole Moose Hockey Club, Iron Range Plumbing and Heating, and Integral Hockey Twin Ports. For Reed Larson, I am Puka. Get out there and be your dream. You're tuned to the Goat Sports Media Audio Network, presented by Virginia Family Dental.